Welcome to Kitchen Counseling. This is Chef Tom. I'm a motorcycle riding holistic chef. Need a visual? Just think Easy Rider with crystals. Kitchen Counseling is a place where friends come to meet, cook up some tasty and easy recipes, and just have some fun. This segment is part of my vegetarian voyage categories, and this is Leek Fritters. And most of my vegetarian options are basically recipes that even can satisfy the ardent carnivore. So today we're gonna do the leek fritters, and I have a guest with me today, and it's my good friend Lynn. Why don't you come in and join us, Lynn?
Hi.
Hey, how's it going?
Tom,
All
how
right.
are you? What are we doing today?
We're gonna do leek fritters. Have you ever had a leek fritter?
No, I don't know what a fritter even is.
You don't even know what a fritter is. Well, I have to tell you, I met Lynn several months back.
I know, it's been such a short time.
It's been a short time at a foodies party, and things have just kind of taken off since then. So
Yeah.
It's been awesome. I'm glad you're here today, and we're gonna be playing around in the kitchen.
Okay.
So why don't you slip over to this side? The one thing about most of my recipes that we do are really easy, and you take one look at this recipe, if you're not used to cooking, you're gonna be like, I can't do this. This recipe, definitely you wanna do everything up front and get everything ready. This is what we call in the culinary world the mise en place. So what we're gonna do first, we're gonna chop everything up for the different aspects of it, and then once we have that all in place, you're gonna see how easy this is actually to put together. If you try and follow the recipe by the steps, you're gonna be going crazy. So let's just do all our chopping, get everything done, and then we're gonna have some fun.
Okay.
All right, so I'm gonna start with, let's start with these leeks, because these, you ever worked with these?
They look like giant onions.
They are part of the onion family, actually. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have you cut these up. We're just gonna cut off the end, and we pretty much just want the really meaty part here. We're gonna cut off this extra.
Okay.
This would we'd use for something else, which we're not gonna use today. And then I just need you to cut them about a 1/2 inch, just like that. And we're gonna slice those up. If you'll get those started, I will start moving some other stuff around here.
Okay. So how are leeks different from like green onions?
Well, they look basically like just a giant-sized green onion. They're part of the onion family, but they're not really exactly like a green onion.
Mm-hmm.
They have a very soft, mellow flavor to them.
Mm-hmm.
They're fantastic in soups. They are.
I have had
You've had the leek soups?
Mm-hmm.
I love leek soup. This particular recipe, because it's a fritter, we're gonna actually cook it up with some shallots and a little bit of a red pepper, and then this awesome sauce that's gonna go on top of it. And it's gonna be like a meal. It's gonna be what a vegetarian would have as their entree.
Should I
So-
cut the rest of this, or is it
Let's see what we got here. Let's cut off, let's just cut down to here.
that? Okay.
Yeah, just cut down to there. We'll use all of that. And we're just gonna throw all of that in our colander. That's good. Okay, so we throw those in the colander, give you a little bit of space there. Okay, or don't.
What? Oh, throw these in the colander. Okay.
Trying to give you a little room here, so you got something to work with.
Okay.
All right. So we're using 3 leeks today. It's gonna make about 8 fritters.
It's a lot.
Get those extra ones out of here.
I think I'm tearing up.
You're tearing up.
does
This
this
doesn't
happen?
make you tear.
Oh,
No.
maybe it's those.
And it's probably the shallots. Awesome. That's
All right.
good. I'll get rid of this, and we'll throw the rest of the.
Does it go?
Yeah, we're just gonna get rid of that for right now. Let's throw these all in here. We're gonna rinse these off really good. Let them drain dry. And while I'm doing that, I'm gonna have you cut this one off. This is our little red jalapeno pepper, just using a red chili.
Okay.
Just cut off the ends. And you want to just try and cut out some of the seeds.
Okay.
We'll give you a smaller knife. That might be easier for that one.
Is
You don't
it
need to get
spicy?
all the seeds out. I like the seeds in it because seeds are the ones that gives it the spice. But for a lot of people, it might be a little bit too much. So we're just going to get most of those seeds out, and then we're going to just cut that up into small dice.
Okay.
All right. Get this washing up here. So this will be ready to cook. All right.
My eyes.
Get this out of the way. Is it the peppers getting you?
I don't know. Is this okay? This
Probably a
size
little smaller. Yeah, what I'll usually do I'll show you on that one how I do it to make it easy. I should have shown you that the first time.
I know.
Instead of just letting you go, you know? I'm just letting you wing
You trusted me.
So I'll cut them down in little
Okay.
strips, and then I'll put them all together.
Oh, it's like really small pieces.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is just going to give it a little bit of flavor, a small bit of color. We're going to put that off to the side. So we're going to put that in here. And then I'm going to cut up the shallots real quick.
Mm-hmm.
We'll put them off to the side, and then we'll get on to all the greens here.
Awesome.
So with the shallots, they can be a little slippery. So I usually just cut down, make a couple of long slices, and then I'm going to cut down the top, and then we're going to cut it this way, and we got our little dices coming out.
Oh, that makes it so much easier.
Makes it a little faster.
Yeah.
You can cut a lot of onions this way the same way, and then this all gets sauteed up. We're just going to throw things all over the kitchen today.
Nice.
Okay, we got another one here. Again, just a little, just kind of making it small so when we put it in to saute it, it has a chance to kind of release, let all that flavor out. This one, do that too.
Do it fast.
You just kind of get used to it after a while. When you go work in the restaurant, they hand you 3 cases of onions and say, "This is what you start with."
3 cases? How big are the cases?
They're pretty big, and
They're
you want
like-
to get
they're
rid of
like
them.
tubs.
Yeah, you want to get rid of them really fast. 'Cause
Really?
it's like, I want to get out of this.
Is there a way to like stop your eyes from watering?
I have not figured it out.
You haven't?
There's all kinds of little home remedies and things that you can try. Some do work some of the time. Sometimes it's just the actual onion itself. Sometimes it's just really strong. Other times I've cut cases of onions and I haven't had a watering eye once. So it really depends on the onion. Okay, so this is going to be for later. So we got that all good. I'm going to wipe this off for you real quick, and then we're going to chop this up. We're going to do the cilantro first because we need 2 cups of cilantro. But we're just going to do a rough chop on this because it's going to go right into our food processor as part of our dressing. Give this a little wipe here.
Maybe I should move this knife.
So pretty much everything down to the stem. We'll cut those stems and toss them.
Okay. This is okay.
That's good. Perfect. That's good. We'll get rid of that.
Okay.
We only need about 2 cups.
This is 2 cups?
So this is probably going to be just under, let's do just part of this one here.
I don't want this. That's a lot.
It's a lot.
Wow.
We'll do that one.
It smells really good. Like they're really fragrant.
Yeah, I love the smell of cilantro. So go ahead and throw those in the bowl, and
Okay.
we'll move this out of the way. We don't need that. It's extra if we need it later. Excellent. And then we're going to do the parsley. The parsley, I need only about a half a cup of the ends here,
much?
in the same way as the cilantro.
Okay.
And then we're going to do a half a cup, but a little bit more chopped up. So
Like this?
Probably, yeah, about like that.
Okay. Wow. This is actually my first time working with parsley.
Really?
Don't cook parsley at home.
You've never used parsley?
No, I didn't know it
Okay.
smelled like this.
Okay, well, it doesn't smell quite as nice as the cilantro, but
Yeah. Was you want to cut it finer?
This one is gonna be part of the dressing, so that can be just a rough chop. This one we need a little bit more. So usually with parsley, I just kind of hold it, bunch it up.
Or you want to finely chop it?
And I want a little bit more finely chopped because this is gonna go in the actual fritters. We don't want some really big chunks in there.
Okay.
So I don't need that.
It smells so interesting.
It has a
the
different,
parsley.
completely different
Yeah.
smell. Yeah. All right. We'll put that off to the side for the fritters.
And move this over.
And then we're going to get rid of this board and we're going to bring over our food processor. We're going to start putting together our dressing.
Okay.
So, get this over here out of the way. Awesome. So now for the dressing, we're basically, from the recipe, we're going to actually just put in everything. Everything that was in the dressing part of it. So what do we have? About, what was that? About a half a cup of sour cream. And a half a cup of the Greek
Is that Greek yogurt?
Greek yogurt. And then in this one I put in all the other ones. What do we have? Lemon juice.
That's lemon juice. This is
That's salt.
salt.
This is all the wet stuff. We have garlic. So we have about just two cloves or like 1 teaspoon if you're using the minced garlic.
Okay.
What do we have on the lemon juice?
Lemon juice. 2 tablespoons.
2
of
tablespoons.
lemon juice.
And then the olive oil. How much of the olive oil we got?
3 tablespoons.
All right. And then the salt.
Half a teaspoon of
Half
salt.
a teaspoon of salt. And then we're going to throw in our parsley and
Half
our
a
cilantro, right?
Yeah, half a
So,
cup of parsley and
Here's
then
our half a cup of parsley.
2 cups of cilantro.
So we're going to add that in there. And then this is all of our cilantro. This is a cup. Just so you know. Yeah, see, perfect measurement. 2 cups. All right.
2
We're
cups.
done.
One hand.
All right, now we're just going to plug this in and we're going to blend it up. Are we all in? Yep. Okay. And you're just mixing it until it's completely all blended up.
It's fast. Wow. That's amazing.
This dressing makes this fritters awesome.
Yeah?
The cilantro in there with the parsley, olive oil, and the garlic. Some
Is
good
it
stuff.
sour because of the lemon juice?
No, there's only a couple tablespoons.
And the Greek yogurt?
There's only a couple tablespoons of the lemon juice in there.
Okay.
So it's not going to be super sour. And the yogurt, there's only a half a cup of that too. And you're blending that with the sour cream, which kind of gives it a little bit more of a flavor. So it's not going to be sour at all.
So sour cream doesn't make it sour?
No, sour cream is actually kind of sweet.
Interesting.
Yes.
I've never had sour cream. Wait, no, I have. I'm sorry, I have. All right, what do we do after
All right,
this?
so the dressing's done. We're going to set this off to the side and we're going to clean up this little mess here for a minute. And then we're going to come back and we're going to put our batter together and actually start putting the fritters together. And then we'll eventually hit the stovetop and we'll start frying them up. Okay, so we'll see you in a little bit.
Awesome.
You ready to make the batter and get things going so we can cook up these fritters?
Yes, I am.
Okay, so we're gonna make a quick little batter here. What we have is 3/4 cup of coconut flour. Use coconut flour, that way you're gluten-free. Yeah, this is a great recipe for you. A lot of the vegetarians would prefer that anyway. We got 1 tablespoon of baking powder. We got a whole egg, and we have, what do we have here? We got two-thirds cup of milk, and 5 tablespoons of melted butter. So go ahead and throw all that in there and just start mixing that up. And while she's doing that, I'm gonna take 1 egg, and we're actually gonna do an egg white here. And I'm gonna whip up this egg white, which we will use to mix in with the Leek mixture. And then that'll also all get mixed in with the batter. So this is just the way I do an egg white. Just flip right on through my fingers, all nice. There we go. And then you got the egg yolk.
Do I just stir it like this?
Yeah, just mixing it up real good. All the ingredients you want to get all mixed together. And I'll do a little bit of whipping while we're doing this, so we make a little bit of noise. Na 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 na.
Oh, it's getting thick.
Now what I do once I kind of get it to that level, I work with my hands. So you get your hands in there and kind of mix it up.
I can do that?
Yeah.
Okay.
You wash your hands?
I will wash it again, just in case.
All I'm doing with the egg white is I'm just giving a quick whip to it to have some stiff peaks, and we're gonna actually fold this into the batter later. That looks good. Yeah, I just want it all combined together so you don't see like flour or egg or something all gonna be mixed in nice. Okay.
Gooey.
That's good.
It smells really good. Is it because of
The coconut flour. You can smell that coconut flour.
Wow. It's like I'm eating like one of those cookies.
Yeah, it does. It does.
Yeah, it smells like that. Is it done?
That is all ready. We're ready now to
All right.
move on to the next step. So we'll be right back with the cooking water. Okay, we need to crank that fire back up again. Go ahead and turn it down. This we're going to saute on medium. We already got the oil hot, so it's ready to go. So go ahead and let's throw our shallots in there and our leeks in there.
Okay.
You were worried, weren't you?
I know. I thought it was going to splatter on me. That's good.
I'll take that.
And the leeks.
And the leeks. You just dump the whole thing upside down in there.
For sure.
There you go. Just like that.
Oh.
Okay. You stir this down a little bit. You're basically going to saute this for about 15 minutes on about medium heat. And that's going to, these leeks are going to all break apart. And as it starts to cook, you don't want them getting all brown, so you don't want to cook it too hot. So that's why you want to do this on medium. So we're just going to kind of let this cook down. We used about 1/3 of a cup of olive oil in there. So it's got a lot of oil to work with. Once this part of it's done and they actually cook down, we're going to put it into a bowl. We're going to put it in with the other mixture of spices and things. And then we're going to actually make the fritters. We're going to put the fritters right back into this pan and make them.
Awesome. So this we just
We're just going to let that cook for a while. And that's it. So while I got a minute, I don't know, just ask you a quick question.
Yeah.
As far as how are you with, what's your thought process with new experiences? I mean, you didn't say you had never ever had a leek fritter before. You didn't even know what a fritter was.
That's right.
So what exactly, what's your mindset behind a brand new experience coming at you? What makes you, how does it make you feel?
I think brand new experience, it's really fun and exciting.
Okay.
Sometimes it can be really scary, right? Because you've never done it before. You don't know if you're gonna do well or if it's gonna be fun or it's gonna be scary or you're gonna get hurt, right? But I always like to try new things.
Okay.
So I want to really try this leek fritter and see how it tastes.
All right, well, we'll finish this up and we'll sit down and try it out and you let me know.
I'm looking forward to it.
Okay, sounds good. Now we're going to do a little gently fold our egg white. We just did little soft peaks on the egg white. We're just going to gently fold this in here.
It's like snow.
It is.
What?
Okay, we'll do that to you. Give this just a little bit of a mixture so it just kind of incorporates all that in there. And then what I'm going to have you do is start scooping into some of that batter mixture in here. And then I'm going to start putting this together with my hands. Give you a little bit more. Excellent.
I'm
And
curious, what does the egg white do for frittage?
it actually is helping bind it too. You have egg in the batter that was a binder for your batter. The egg white is actually going to help hold this all together when you fry it. Okay.
Last choice. Yeah, take the rest of this off a spoon.
How about that? That's good. So then, basically just mixing it all up nice and so it's all incorporated. Batter with the vegetables, and that is our mixture. And then we're going to actually start frying them up. They only take a couple minutes to fry up, and then we're going to have a little bit of a meal.
Okay.
And that's good for there. All right, we've got our mixture now. I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit of this mixture in there. I'm going to hand you the bowl to hold it for me. Thank you. We're just going to scoop that in there. flatten it out a little bit. Okay, so we'll get these ones cooking up, and we'll do the other 4 after these are cooked. So now we're just frying them up. A little crispy on the other side. We'll flip them over. And then we're going to take them off, put them on a paper towel, and let them kind of drain and dry a little bit.
Can I flip it?
You want to flip?
Yes.
Okay.
I like flipping, it's so fun.
You like flipping, but you were worried about the oil popping up when you put the
Yeah,
onions
but
in
when
the
you
center.
flip it, you know, it doesn't come to you, it doesn't splash on you, right?
If you're flipping like this, it
Oh,
does.
okay. That hasn't happened to me yet.
Okay, then you flip this way. I better get out of the way then.
You're flipping water. So how do you know when it's ready? That's the hard part. I never get
You
that.
actually can watch the edges. If you watch the edges, you'll start to see it brown up around the edges. And what I'll do a lot of times is just kind of move them around a little bit. Make sure they're apart. And you can flatten them with your
Spatula.
spatula there. But you'll start seeing the brown around the edges, and once that happens, then you can flip them without them falling apart on you. If you flip them too soon, they're going to break apart on you. So you want to give them a few minutes on one side.
All right, I'm ready.
Okay, let's give it a shot. Let's see what we got. Get all the way under there, scoop it out, yeah, and flip it right over.
It broke.
That's okay. It'll come back together as you cook it.
Should I do this one
Shoot, yeah, whichever one you want to do.
or this one?
Either one.
This one. This one's smaller. This is not working. It's not working, Tom. All right, show us your master. How'd you do that? Oh, it looks
I'm gonna
so
throw a little
good.
more oil in there, start to dry out. There we go.
That looks really good.
So you cooked it mostly through on this side. We cooked it a little long on this side, so we made it a little browner than normal. So this side doesn't really need to cook as much in order to get completely done. It's basically cooked. So you're just kind of setting that side. Then we're gonna go ahead and take them off, and we'll do the other batch, and then we'll be done.
You can take this
You're handing me the spatula
You
back.
can take the spatula. I will watch and eat.
All that is practice. It's just practice. Just doing it over and
I
over and
actually
over
have
again.
practice. So like, I've seen this.
But not
videos,
somewhat.
like-
This is kind of it's a weird consistency because you got the leeks in there. They're kind of hard, big chunks, and you got the batter in there that's really kind of soft and everything. So it could be a little difficult to actually flip.
I've practiced flipping with bread.
Well, that's a start. How about eggs?
Yeah, I'm really good at flipping eggs.
Are you good at
actually.
flipping eggs?
Yeah, I'm good at eggs, omelets.
Do you do it with the spatula or do it with the pan?
I do it with the pan.
Yeah, me too. That's the
I'm an
best way.
expert.
There you go. We'll have to do some eggs. Alright,
That's good.
take these off. Ooh, that did come. And we'll just do the other ones up. And that is it. All right, we're all cooked up.
All cooked up.
All right, let's go ahead and plate this thing. So we have our fritter. Put that right there in the center. Put just a little dollop of this on here. Right there. go. That's awesome. So now we got our Leek fritters with the cilantro sauce. This is for you, and we're gonna head to the table.
Go.
There you go.
Thank you. Oh, that looks gorgeous.
Came out really well. That's his process. That is a little bit of a process there. Huh?
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to try and dig into this here, but I wanted to touch base on something that you said during the cooking.
Yeah.
When we were talking about new experiences.
Mm-hmm.
Since you've never had a fritter before, this is going to be a new experience for you.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And you know, with experiences, they could have good or bad outcomes.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't really matter what the outcome is, whether it's good or bad. It's an experience that you learn from, and it makes you grow.
Mm-hmm.
So have you had any other new experiences that maybe you were afraid to jump into, and how did it come out?
Oh yeah. This one time, so I was in a layover in Hawaii. So at the airport, I was planning on, I had like 8 hours of free time.
Okay.
I was planning on going to the beach, Waikiki, is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Waikiki Beach. And then actually at the airport though, I met this police officer who was there, and then he said, oh, I'm gonna go to the beach soon after my shift. And so he was like, do you wanna come with me?
Okay.
So he actually lived like right off the beach, and I was like, okay, yeah, sure. And we went together in his truck, and then we went to his apartment. He got his surfboards, and we walked to the beach. He actually taught me how to surf.
This is all on an 8-hour layover?
Yes, all in one day. I just met him at the airport, and I was like, hey. And we just chatted, and then we became friends. And you know, he took me to the beach. It was my first time surfing, like ever. I don't even know how to swim.
How did you feel before you did it the first time? I mean, were you
It was
scared,
really
or?
scary.
Yeah?
Because like surfing, like the surfboard is huge and it's really heavy. Like he taught me how to paddle board first, and I was like, oh my God, am I gonna fall off this?
Yeah.
And then after that, he took me like to not the kiddie pool, but like just out in the open ocean. And he was like, paddle. Okay.
Yeah.
And so we just swam like all the way out there, and I was so scared that I was, you know, gonna like drown in the water or something, but he just told me to, you know, get on. He helped me on, and then I stood on the surfboard, and when the wave came, I just kept going. I just went straight to the
And
to
you rode
the
it all
beach.
the way in?
Yeah.
Wow. First try?
Yes, I did, and I slipped, but
Have you been back surfing since then? Or?
no, that was my only
So it
time.
was a one-time experience. But you did something that you weren't sure about, you were afraid about it, and you conquered it right out the gate. That's an awesome experience.
Yeah.
Mine wasn't quite that way.
No, it wasn't?
No.
What was your new experience?
I got talked into parasailing
Okay.
when I was on a cruise. And back then I was a lot heavier than I was now. And I probably should have double thought this before I did it, but I did it anyway. And they took me up in the, you know, sail, and where you're attached to this line to the boat. The boat's taking off, dry riding around the bay and all that. But I noticed every time the boat made a turn and there was a slack in the rope, I started falling like a rock. There was just
Like
not
there
enough
wasn't
wind
okay.
to keep me up. And so we did that a few times, and I'd fall, and then I'd shoot back up when the line tightened up again. I'm like, okay,
It's like a roller
It's like a
coaster.
roller coaster ride, 100 feet in the air, you know. And then they pulled into this little dock to hook up to a pulley so they could pull you in safely, you know. But they started chatting, and they weren't paying attention, and I was just falling out of the sky. And I just,
Oh my God.
as they started getting really close to the water, I was like, well, I'm going in. There's just nothing I can do about it at this point. That's when they looked, and the actual boat took off and tried to save it and had me go up. Didn't work. I went in the water, went down, then
You
they
just,
dragged
like,
me through the
plunged
water.
into the water.
So it was an experience.
Oh my gosh.
I still would not trade that experience. I would not repeat the experience. So, but it was something that I learned
You
from.
learned from it, but
Yeah.
I'm not gonna do that again.
That's right. Let's give this a try, and let's see if you have
Alright.
experience with this.
Okay. That was really interesting.
Has a lot of different consistencies with the batter. the leeks, the sauce. So you got some creaminess, you got a little bit of like that batter, that kind of cakiness to it. The leeks and the flavors and the peppers in there.
I really like the sauce.
I think the sauce drives it home.
That really makes it. Wow.
This is also very filling. If you notice, even after there's a couple bites, because of all the ingredients in there, you don't need a whole lot of this. One of these patties is like a nice meal.
It's good. Wow.
So how was your first experience with a leek fritter?
It's not too bad. I like the different flavors from the sauce to the leek. It's not too strong.
Right. There's not a lot of spiciness to it. That's why I leave a few of those seeds in there, but there's not a lot of spiciness, but just enough. You get the color from the peppers, but you're getting just a little bit of a different layer of flavors in there.
I really like the sauce. I could just eat this by itself.
It's like your own personal crack sauce.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for joining me today, Lynn. It was a pleasure. I always like having you around and love cooking with you in the kitchen.
Me too. Thank you. I really want to try this when I go back home.
Well, I'll give you the recipe and you can take it home and try it out.
Okay. I'll do that.
Thank you for joining us today. We will see you on the next episode of Kitchen Counseling.